Welcome to a Math Warehouse video on a new version of probably our most popular game on our website. It's our Unit Circle game, which we've greatly changed in large part due to feedback I've gotten from different teachers over the years. And you get to the game by going to this URL, mathwarehouse.com, Unit Circle, unitcirclegame.php. I'll put the link in the YouTube description. Anyway, when you go to the URL, you can scroll down. There's a little animation here, some links to resources you might like. But the main thing is, of course, the game, which you can find here. And I will start the game and then I'll go over some of the settings and ways that teachers can change in order to create a customized version of the game that suits your class's needs that you can then share as a teacher with your class. So, start the game and you'll see that by default you have one team and the name is Team 1. Here's where the question is. We don't have any points and we have 2 minutes to get 180 degrees. So I'm going to put in some incorrect answers to show you kind of the process. After you have two wrong guesses, you're going to get a hint, which is you're only going to see answers that are degrees because this is a degree question. And that's, again, the default settings. You can change that so that there's no hints, but by default, you get two guesses. On the third guess, only the class of answer type will be available to you. So now I know it's some kind of angle measurement, and these are my options. I'm going to click on the right answer here, and you'll see that I got 1 point because I had to use the hints. If I guessed correctly immediately on the first try, I would have gotten more points. I want to explain why only half of this square is filled in, and that's because right now in our settings, and maybe I'll take a minute to go to the settings now, I have degrees on and radians on. So I correctly got 180 degrees, but there will be another time in this game where the radian version of this will be asked, and when I then answer that, the other half of this will be filled in. So let me show you the other types of things that you can do. You can turn hints on or off. Do you want to do what we just saw, which was get a few different shots at answering the question with hints increasing each time? Do you want to have questions involving degrees like 180 degrees that we just answered? If I had turned that off, I would have never seen that, and I would only ever see the radian version of that question. Do I want to have to answer questions on general traits? And a general trait question will look something like, I'm going to go ahead until I find a general trait question. So hold on. Okay, let me show you the hints again. So I was guessing here, and this wants a coordinate, so it's letting me know that I want a coordinate. And, that is filled in. Okay, so I paused the recording and then went ahead through the game a bunch of times to get to a general traits question. Here's a general traits question, and it's asking, where in the unit circle is the x value always positive and the y value always negative, right? So I'm just going to click on something again, go through the hinting system. Wrong, wrong, use a hint. So here are the general traits that you can be asked. You can be asked about which of these squares represents cosine, right? This here would be cosine. This would be what you would click on to represent sine. And then this would be positive, positive. When is x positive and y negative, which is what this is asking, would be down here. And I got that right. There's only one of these questions, right? Like for this earlier, we had a degree question and a radian question, and we were waiting for the second half to be filled in. But here, of course, there's only one way to ask that question. So the square is fully filled out, representing the question has been fully answered. Going back to the types of settings, you can change it to a count up timer that never ends. You can turn the timer off, or this is the default, a countdown timer at 120 seconds. You can also decide whether or not to rationalize the denominator. Some teachers have asked to be able have told me that they teach this as 1 over the square root of 2 instead of square root of 2 over 2. So let's say we want to turn off that. We do not want to rationalize the denominator. Let's say we do not want degree questions and we want to keep all the other defaults. What you'll then notice is down here, you can copy that URL. And this changed, by the way, based on the settings. And now you can share this special link, and all of those settings will be in that link. So if you copy that link and then post it on Google Classroom or something, your students who click on that exact link will see your version of the game with those settings intact, right? No degrees and no rationalization of denominators. And the last thing I'm going to go over is that you can create teams and you can change the names of the teams to whatever you want. If you want to in class create some teams and then have, a kind of a competition thing. So that's it. That's the full overview of the new version of the game. It's changed a lot, and while I'm recording this, I just want to point out if you do teach trigonometry, you can click on that link at the top to see a whole bunch of different animations, and there's an applet we have here that lets you see different trig graphs, how they relate to the unit circle and how they relate to the larger graph, as well as some other cool animations. Anyway, you can check that out if you want. And I hope you like the game. If you have any other suggestions about ways to improve the game, feel to email me anytime. At the bottom of every web page is a way to send an email. Thank you.